take it back to the beginning. When did you get involved in dogs, and what led you to where you are now?
All right, so I got involved. Let's say with the pit bulls and whatnot. I'm gonna say I was in the military. I was like 19,
Mm-hmm.
and overseas, man. I think I was in Istanbul, Turkey, and I walked up on something I wasn't supposed to. You can pretty much figure out what that was.
Oh yeah.
And a guy that was there with me, a guy named Chad out of Delaware. We just saw something that we liked, man. So by the time we made it back stateside, I'm gonna say that was like 94, 95. We just started looking into game dogs, man. But the thing about me, I've always liked dogs with size. So the regular standard game dog, it just wasn't big enough for my liking. So I'll tell you something, man, that you probably never heard. The guy Dave Wilson, I knew of his stock even before he knew of it. There was a lady, and correct me, I might be wrong on this, but I think her name was her kennel was Clover Hill, and she had a dog by the name of Watuka Spirit.
Yep.
Yeah, so I was actually supposed to buy that dog. The reason I didn't buy the dog.
Hey, I'm sorry. There was a slight glitch in the audio that usually never happens. Can you start back with starting with Dave Wilson?
Okay, yeah. So back when Dave Wilson, right when he was about to start breeding the bully, he was living in Virginia. At the same time, I was living in Virginia, and so I had heard some things he was doing, but this was before he was actually Dave Wilson. So I got in contact with a lady. Her kennel was Clover Hill, and she had a dog by the name of Watuka Spirit. If you go back into some of the old bully blood, you'll see Watuka Spirit. Now, the reason she didn't want this dog was because the dog was too big for what she did. The dog's head was too big, and it didn't fit the showroom. I mean, the showroom like she wanted. So she was gonna sell me the dog. But the reason I didn't buy the dog was because on the phone, it's true story. On my mama, true story. On the phone, she couldn't tell that I was black. That's real. And when she found out I was black, she wouldn't sell me the dog. Now this ain't hearsay. This some real spill here. So anyway, I figured out how to get bigger game dogs, and that's my journey all the way up until now. I've always liked bigger dogs, not big like 100 pounds, 120 pounds. That's too big for what I like.
Sure.
But 80, 85 pounds, a lot of muscle, but a show enough killer, that's Towchain.
Okay. Now let me ask you this. So, okay, I don't know. I don't think you ever saw my Razor's Edge video, but I did post it, and Watuka Spirit I did feature.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just posted it on Facebook.
Okay, yeah.
But so it's funny you brought that up. That rung all kinds of bells. But
Yeah.
so would you call your dogs? I noticed you say Towchain Bully Pits. Would you call them? Do they fall into the same category as the ADBA's newer working pit bulldog?
Kind of, sort of. And I say kind of, sort of because from my understanding, I remember them changing that name due to that boy with his Hulk dog. I remember that name change came after he got all that fame. So I said kind of, sort of, because it's a mix. Let's just keep it a buck. What I do is pit bull mixed with American bully.
Right.
So as far as the ADBA go, for some reason my mind always go back to the Chevy dogs with them, because that's the majority of their big dogs.
Mm-hmm.
It's Chevy stuff, and I've used Chevy stuff, as a matter of fact. But to answer your question, yeah, it's about the same, because my dogs are not full blooded. I want that shit to be known. I've never said they were. And, I want that to be real clear. I know the difference between a pit bull, a Towchain pit bull, and a bully. I trust me, I know the difference.
Because a lot of people out here, they really bullshit.
Oh, no question. No question, bro. I know it. And I actually hate it, but, man, I'm going to call a spade, bro. I know what I have, and I know. Let me tell you something, man. You ever tell you what get me, though? This is shit that grinds me right here, though, man. So, and I'm going to tell you how I catch these people up. Most of the people that come at me, and it's not common, it doesn't happen a lot, but every once in a while, I get somebody under a comment say, that's not a purebred pit bull. Now, the old me, I would sit there and argue with their ass, right? Because I know this. You can look on my Instagram. You will not see me mention a full-blooded pit bull nowhere. I mean, I got more sense than that. But this is what kills me, though. And I gotta name stuff. I'm real bad at I can't talk about something and not name what I'm talking about.
Oh, dude, that's what, bro. This is what this channel is for. Call them out. Fuck them.
Okay, cool. So you got this the Brazilian dogs are what's hot now. Okay, you got and they look damn good. This is not the whole country now. But you got these guys that they're breeding these American Bulldogs to these bullies, right? And bro, they look damn good. But if you know dogs, the eyes tell you everything. I'm talking about the dogs look exactly like American Bulldogs in the face. And, and I guess because they big, got heavy bone, and most of them got good conformation. So you see these guys in America now, they're importing these Brazilian dogs, and what they doing is they not telling people what these dogs are made of or where these dogs derive from. They're just advertising as Brazilian blood.
Now, when you say, let me cut you off. When you say Brazilian blood, what is this, a different breed, or is this an American bully, or what is this?
This is an American bully crossed with American bulldog.
And what are they calling it, an American bully, or are they calling it an American bulldog? What's the story?
They are definitely calling it an American bully.
Oh, okay.
Right, but now if you look at the dog. If you look at them, and I wish, like right now, I can't call the kennels off the top of my head, but if you look at the dog, it has the exact eye separation as American Bulldog. Exact, right? But
now, are you talking
denying it?
The
Brazilians, when you look at their advertisements, you know how like somebody has a picture pedigree?
Yeah.
Okay, you'll see the American Bulldog in the pedigree. Okay, but when the people are bringing them here to America, they're not doing that. You understand? They're selling the dogs as like XL American bullies. And I'm going to tell you the truth, man. They actually look better than the dogs here in America. Like the real American bullies.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, them bitches look better. That's true. They got tighter skin. The coats are tighter. The number one thing that stand out the most, they have a rear end. Americans don't care anything about rear end.
Right.
So, but the Brazilians...
I noticed that's always lacking. Yeah, that's always lacking.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let me ask you this: when you're saying American Bulldogs, are they crossing them with like the Scott Performance type or the Bully Johnson type?
Man, you know what? It's got to be the Johnson type, because the Scott type is a working style dog, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and the Johnson is the big type, right?
Yeah, as far as I know, but I mean, there's still controversy in that topic alone, because now there's the hybrid. Well, there's been the hybrids the whole time, but I know that there's the Johnson type, which they're now calling the Bully type, and then the Performance type, which was the Scott type. I'm starting to get a little confused on it, but I have interviewed a lot of not a lot, but like 4 or 5 American Bulldog guys on the channel, and that's pretty much how they explain it, how the names are changing. And then you got your hybrids, which I guess Alan Scott was one of the first to do when he crossed a game dog to a Scott type, and It apparently they're really hot dogs. They're just slightly bigger.
Yeah, but I'm thinking it's the Johnson type, man, because them dogs are huge. They big, but in all honesty, they look good as shit. And for me, I'm a very picky person, especially as far as conformation. Those dogs look better than the ones over here in America. It's just the guys that are here when they export them, their selling catchphrase is Brazilian import,
Okay.
and they're just not telling people that it's American Bulldog in there. But these are the new guys that are buying these dogs now. Anybody that's seasoned, that know anything about dogs, you can definitely see the American Bulldog in their face.
Right.
100%.
So what would okay? So break down. How many dogs do you have now?
I have 8. I don't keep all 8 with me. I've been stopped doing that. I have 4 at my house, and I got 4 that are just out.
Okay, like co-owns basically.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Now, what is your like if you just to break it down for the listeners, what is your initial goal as far as what your dogs are and what you know, Towchain bully pits? What do you want to see if you hear somebody saying, "Hey, I got a Towchain bully pit"? What do you expect to see in that dog?
Okay, confirmation wise. Okay, I'll do a physical and a mental. Physically, you should see a male between 70 to 90 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
You should see a dog that's correct. The right angles, the right feet, no easty westy. You should see a short, tight coat. You should see a tail set kin to a Staffordshire Terrier or a Pit Bull. You won't see a dog that I bred with a tail that go below the hocks. That's just one of my pet peeves. And you'll see a brick-shaped head. You won't see a large head because I like function. You won't see a lot of lips either. Okay, color-wise, me, myself, I prefer a red nose. Every dog I have is at least 80% red blood. You won't see a dog within the last 12 to 13 years that has any blue blood in it as far as coloration. Like, there's just too many flaws, man. You know, you get the bad skin and the cancers and all this and that. So I don't use anything that's blue.
Okay.
I don't breed to Merle at all. I won't touch a Merle.
100%. I agree.
I know what's there, you know. So I'm not gonna knowingly put anything into my dog's blood system or bloodline if it ain't Pit Bull, American Staffordshire Terrier, or a good American Bully. I have to be able to look at it. I won't I won't take chances on pictures. I gotta see it with my eyes.
Sure.
Okay. So the mental aspect, dog aggression is gonna be number one. I know it sounds ignorant, but it's what I like. What I mean by dog aggression, you will never see a stud of mine let another stud dry hump it. You will never see that.
Right.
And if I did see it, I probably would neuter it and maybe give it to my family. You know, maybe a cousin or something. But as far as me using it, I have to have a very dominant male, and I like to see it right around 4 or 5 months. I could pretty much tell. Like if I walk them down the street, dogs in the fence, I need that puppy to show me some interest in getting over there. He ain't got to go there growling and acting a fool, but right around 4 or 5 months, he need to be pulling me towards that fence.
Right.
Okay. I don't like an HA dog because the dogs that I breed for fight. You know, not the actual form of fighting. It doesn't have to fight, but I need to know if it was on the bottom, it's not gonna quit. So I can't have a dog that's HA because number one, my dogs are big, and if they get on the average person, that person probably gonna die. So I like to have a dog that's people friendly. Not like if a person comes to my house and my dog hadn't seen that person, I don't want my dog to chew that person up. But I don't want my dog over there, you know, pissing and everything because it's nervous and you know, licking the shit out of people. But they can come in my house, the dog can greet them, but I don't want him to eat the person up, if that makes sense to you.
Let me ask you this. Do your dogs protect, though?
Yeah, man, and I'm going to tell you something. Like I've been breeding dogs, 20-some years. I've had 2 dog bites out of all them years. I've only had two dog bites. But the one time I had the dog bite, he broke this guy's arm. And that shit scared the hell out of me. And it scared me because, number one, I wasn't there. I was actually in the hospital. I had COVID. And the guy, you know, he took my dogs on some emergency type shit because I didn't know I was going to have to stay in the hospital. So I had to have somebody come and get my dog. So I had this particular guy come, and he called me. And he called me. He was in the same damn hospital that I was in. So when I asked him what happened, he told me that he went to put the dog up. The dog wouldn't go in the cage. He grabbed the dog by the collar to shove him in the cage. The dog bit him on top of his shoulder, and it broke his whole fucking arm. So, and I knew he wasn't lying because when I got out the hospital, I went to go get the dog. The dude was in a full damn cast, like from the shoulder all the way to his wrist. So when I saw that, and this dog that did this was only 75 pounds, you know, one of my smaller dogs. So when I saw that, I started trying to only utilize dogs that I knew were way on the low level as far as human aggression. And I had to do it because, like I said, I'm breeding warriors. So I can't have something that is trying to kill you like it's trying to kill a dog. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm in the phase now to where, you know, like right now, man, I just got a dog, a female. She's half balls on the top, and her dad is an unleashed dog. So she's very friendly, but the reason I got her was because she's already killed 4 dogs. So I know the drive is there, and I know she game as hell, but you can come punch in the eye, she won't do nothing to you.
Well, I mean, okay, let me wrap my head around this, because me breeding band dogs, I want a dog that protects his house and protects his family.
Yeah.
Are you trying to steer away from that?
Not necessarily steer away. What I'm trying to do, okay, let me rephrase it. It's like, you know, what I do know for a fact, some dogs you don't have to train to be protected. You know, some dogs
that's a very small spectrum, though. I've had to.
You know what, man? It's a way to test for it, though.
Right. Well, yeah, obviously, yeah. No, you're 100% on that. But there's been certain people who have called me to help them with their dogs locally, and they think that their dog is just going to protect them, and I'm like, well, I'm sorry, ma'am or sir. Your dog is not built to protect. It might be a German Shepherd or a Rottweiler or a Pit Bull or a Doberman or whatever it is. Your dog is not really built to protect, and I can almost guarantee that dog is going to run and hide in a closet. Now, what you're saying is, you have the fire, you're just trying to contain it, correct?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to contain it it's a mental thing. As far as I'm trying to breed, how can I say this? A calmer dog with people.
Okay.
Right? Like say if we're in public, right? I don't want a dog lunging at people.
Sure.
Okay? And I want a dog that will allow people in my house, but I need that dog to be able to tell when it's time to get busy.
That's perfect.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you where I do it, man. I got a motorcycle club, right? I'm a member of a motorcycle club, right? So what I do I probably do it maybe once every 8 or 9 months. I have somebody come over to the house, always a man, being a little loud, come in, being a little loud, and I let them greet me in a rough way. This shit works every single time. If you got a dog that's naturally protective, you can have somebody, and I swear to you, because I did it with Wild Bill. All you gotta do when they extend their hand, have them hug you in a rough way and have them shake you a little bit. If that dog don't fire up, it ain't in them.
Oh, okay.
And then, but it's not a bad thing. It's just a bad thing for me. It's like some people that have dogs that won't fire up. That's okay for them. But for me, I need to know that he gonna fire up and he gonna know when to fire up.
Sure.
No bite suit, no whips, none of that shit. Even though I'm not against protection training if that's your thing. It's not mine. But if it's your thing, you do you.
Sure.
But for me, I like the natural.
Okay.
And if they ain't got it, I don't use them. I mean, it's just that simple.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
What do you do to train your dogs specifically?
Well, shit, I don't train them. All I do simple obedience. Enough for me to make the dog act right. Like, say if I got to clean out a kennel, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. Like I get aggravated when my dogs pee in the kennel, cause some of them I keep in the house. So like if I've been gone too long, he pee in the kennel, I get aggravated, man. And what I would do, I would make the dog sit and stay the entire time I clean the kennel out. Because I'm thinking, okay, if I make his ass sit there while I'm cleaning out and I'm cussing him out the whole time, maybe somebody register to not do it. That's the only training I do, bro.
And it
like
works.
I say, protection training, I don't do that. I don't think I'm good enough, and I don't want to screw the dog up, so I don't even touch protection training. Plus, I ain't got the patience for it. So all I do is obedience. Now, when it comes to spring polling, flirt polling, things to play and exercise, it should come natural, man. Most of my pups are flirt polling as soon as they walk.
Right.
Spring polling, I start them right. They teach set probably about 7 to 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
So by then, they've seen the adults do it. And normally, I can get a dog to spring pole off all 4 feet probably the same day that I introduce them to it because they've seen the other dogs do it.
Okay.
So there's no training, man, other than basic training. I don't do anything else.
So basically, you're training your dogs just to be regular house dogs with an edge to them.
Definitely, but a big edge.
Okay.
A big edge, man. I tell people, you buy a dog from me, whether it's male or female, that dog park shit is over with right around 7 to 8 months.
Right.
You take one of my dogs to the dog park, and you're going to think it's all cute and cuddly because you haven't had it around other dogs. But as soon as they bite something and they hear that first scream, it's over. And you're going to get your ass kicked out. You're going to get the police called on you, so don't even go to the dog park.
I have a very strong stance, especially with working dogs in general. No dog parks.
Exactly.
And some of the people that want to hire me to train their dogs, and I'm not a trainer. I just know basic. I know enough to solve a problem if somebody asks me to train their dog.
Right.
But I'm not a trainer per se. But I tell people immediately if they have a pit bull, a shepherd, a Rottweiler, a Doberman, a Akita, even a bull mastiff, American bulldog, whatever. I tell them immediately, dog parks are not safe. I mean,
100%.
They're just not safe.
100%. 100%, bro. You got owners that don't know how to handle their dogs.
Yep.
And then you got the dogs that want to be dominant because they never face anything that's dominant. Next thing you know, they get mollywopped and your ass in jail.
Right. 100%.
Yeah, I agree.
So, let me ask you this. Explain to me, if you will, break down a little bit of the foundation, where you started as far as building up the dogs you have now.
Okay, I can tell you the exact breeding. And the dogs. There was a dog that I bought from a guy named Ray Sacapano in California.
Mm-hmm.
Ray had Heartbeat Kid. So I bought a pup from Ray, which is off a Heartbeat Kid and a full-blooded Castillo bitch named Sandy. This was back in, I want to say 98. And I bought that male from Ray. That male's name was Chucky. And I had a watchdog bitch. Watchdog bitch. I forget her name. But anyway, I bred those two, and I started Towchain that breeding right there. And what I did was, didn't like the offspring because that Chevy shit came back up through there. Long coats, easty westy. Just bad, man. So what I did was I took a male out of that breeding. His name was Russian. And I bred Russian to some Razor's Edge dogs, man. But they were real. As a matter of fact, the guy's name is I'm always dropping the name. I forget, man. But the dog's name, his name was Naughty Head. And he had his sister was his mom was Sugar Shack. And anyway, that blood was Razor's Edge. Nemesis was high up in that pedigree. I don't know if you know that dog's name. Nemesis, you ever heard of him?
Nemesis, he was he involved in the XL community?
Nah, that's the name of the dog. The dog's name was Nemesis. He was a blue Razor's Edge dog.
I've heard the name Nemesis. I was just under the impression that he was an XL dog.
Yeah, you know what? Nemesis, he was full edge, but he was a big dog. Do you remember a dog by the name of King Kamali?
I've heard of the dog, but I've never seen him.
Okay, that's all off the same yard. I just can't think of that guy's name. But anyway, you ever heard of a Gotti dog by the name of White Rhino?
I've heard of that dog too. Still never seen him.
Okay, old blood. But anyway, the dog that I had, he was off of that blood, and that blood was popping back in the late 90s, early 20s. So I took that blood to straighten out the Chevy stuff I had already done. But that blood wasn't hot. So what I did was, I'm from Mississippi. I went back to Mississippi, went to the box. You know, our bitch that had been referee, she was in referee matches. Her name was Kayla. She was a Jeep bitch. And I took her, full Jeep dog, and I bred her to the Chevy Razor's Edge stuff. And I've been crossing that shit up, man, all the way up until right now. Every blue moon, the last I bred those father to daughter to nephew, inbreed, line breed. I did that shit for maybe 10, maybe 12 years. Bred myself into a corner and started. I came back out and I used the Camelot stuff, but and I want this to be clear, the Camelot dogs that I used were not from Kennel Sonia.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't his strain of Camelot. Even though he owned the dog, Bruiser. Bruiser was a blood I went to. But I used Bruiser blood because, number one, it was super clean. And what people don't know, other than that Jack Boot stuff, that Bruiser blood is probably the hottest, prettiest red blood that you can get.
Okay.
That shit will get down. I don't know of any weak dogs that came out of Bruiser. So I got a bitch that was top and bottom Bruiser. Bruiser was her father, and her mother was Bruiser's daughter. So she was inbred Bruiser.
Okay.
And I took her and I bred it to some of my old stuff with the Chevy Edge, all that shit mixed together. And I came up with the dogs I've been running for like the last 7 to 8 years. And that's really what I'm running right now.
Got you.
Yeah.
I was trying to get an interview with Kenny Sonia, and apparently, at first he was down for it, and then he saw the video I did. It was a video on Watchdog Camelot Chaos, and it was just talking about. I tried to squeeze a few bloods into one video, and he hit me up in a text, and he was about to do an interview with me. He hit me up in the text and just cursed me out.
Okay, so look. All right. So, like I said, I used some blood that was Camelot.
Sure.
And I wanted to emphasize that it wasn't the Camelot from Kennel.
Yeah.
The reason I'm emphasizing that is because it's two reasons, right? Number one, I think he's an exceptional breeder. But the difference between Kennel and myself, and I hope he hear this, the difference between him and me, I don't play with people. I just don't play with people. And I'm going to tell you something that I know he did. And once again, I actually hope you hear this. Okay, there's a forum. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's on Facebook. It's called United Red Nose World.
Okay.
Okay, I've been a part of that forum since its inception. Right? Clay from No Fear, he's in charge of that now. But even when it was in MSN boards, I've been there since 96 on up till it dissolved. And now I'm on the URW, which is on Facebook. And it's been going on, I think, now, don't get me wrong, maybe 10, 12 years. But anyway, I was on that forum one day, and a subject came up about the Camelot blood. I wasn't there. So I don't pick sides. I don't do none of that. If I wasn't there, I'm not picking no sides. I'll listen. I'll throw my little 2 cents in, but it's just my 2 cents. It's not an exact opinion. But one thing that I know for a fact that he said, because I heard when he texted or when he typed it, I read it, and I had to get at him because I was so mad. His kennel partner at the time was Art, right?
Yep.
Art is the person that most people give the credit for Camelot. Mm-hmm. Now, one thing that I do know, they live together, they work together as far as the dogs and all this and that. But one thing that Kenny did that pissed me off, Kenny talked shit about Art. He went on to say the man was into drugs. He was saying the man wasn't trustworthy, but the man is dead. The man dead and gone. So when he typed out his comment or whatever, everybody said what they said. But I typed in, what type of person are you to talk about a dead man that you once called your friend? That man ain't here. He ain't here to argue your point. He ain't here to protect his name, whether it was truth or a lie. So if he was supposed to be your friend, how the hell are you talking about your friend? Even if it's negative or positive, if he's your friend, why you dogging him? And he can't protect himself.
Sure.
But same thing I just said just now, I typed that.
Right.
So with that being said, I don't want nothing to do with that man dogs. And he's a great breeder. I ain't taking nothing from him. You know? And I'll go on a little further, right? Okay. So I guess in the URW, I've been there for a while. Everybody on that forum know who I am. They know my dogs and whatnot. I got a lot of respect on that board because I give a lot of respect. Okay, so with that being said, he knows that shit. So he goes on to ask me for my address, right? I sent him my address. He sent me 2 dog collars. Best damn dog collars I've ever had. He makes them out of this airplane material, and he stamps them with this brass nameplate. I'm talking about they beautiful, right? So he sent me those, and I knew it was a peace offering, right? So, you know me, I ain't gonna forget what your ass said. I'll take your gift, but I ain't gonna forget what you said. I know what kind of person you are. You understand?
100%.
So, huh?
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, he knows exactly who Towchain is. He knows exactly who I am. And that's why I want this on the record, because I'm not lying. But, man, I ain't breaking bread with nobody, the dog that dead, homie. I'm not doing it. This shit ain't, man, the money is okay. But, man, integrity, man, go a long way with me. And that's why I want this on record. And I hope he hear it. That's on God.
It's just ironic that you say that after the events that just happened with me, and I was going to keep it off record, but no, I guess with that being said, and now I guess I'll call him out since you did, and I try not to do that, but I tried to get an interview with him, and at first he acted like he wanted to do the interview, and then I get like 2 really long texts in a row just attacking me. And he's like, you shouldn't have done any video about somebody unless you actually been on their yard and blah, 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 blah. I was like, no, listen, bro, I do videos based on the findings of my studies.
Yeah.
When I do breed videos, bloodline videos, I'm going on the findings of my studies. Now, if I'm lucky enough to get a person on the line with me, recorded, to tell their story, then we can clear things up. And I gave him the opportunity to do that, and he still cursed me out. So it was just like,
crazy.
all right, well, either A, you just don't like me for whatever reason or something I said, or B, there's something you're hiding in your story and you really don't want to be interviewed. You know, and I'm just going to call that what it is. That's pussy. You know,
man, 100%, bro.
It's like, well, listen, man, I actually admired his dogs. When I approached him, I admired his dogs. I said, man, you've done a lot with this thing, huh? Let me get you on. Let's tell your full story, because all I did was read some articles on the Camelot stuff, and I know I can't get a hold of Art, but I was like, let me talk to this Kenny Sonia guy. Maybe he can, you know, come on and tell the full story on, you know, why he is who he is, what he's done, yada, yada, yada. And he just blew up at me. I was just like, well, all right. Well, if that's the case, fuck you. Fuck the hole you came from. I don't give a shit.
Hey, man, let me tell you something, bro. Real quick. Let me tell you something. Now, like, I knew of Kenny. I've actually met him before.
Yeah.
I met him at a dog show, man. We had that dog named Bus. That big ass dog Bus, and he had Snowman with him. And he had a Cheek Junior. So I've met him. But I'm gonna tell you what it is, bro. Like when Kenny was big, Kenny was a bully. You know, he ain't no, you know, he's a muscle guy, but you know, somebody that can fight, you know, it just ain't shit to you. But when you got these dudes that's breeding these dogs, you know, they somewhat timid. You know, I know he's taking people's dogs. I know he's strong on people for their dogs and shit. But it was a long time ago. I'm talking about a long time ago, right? But you got people out here like myself. I know what's going on. You understand?
100%. Yeah.
I gotta give him credit, man. That the boy, Kenny Sonia, got some nice ass dogs, man. But I'm gonna tell you where he messes up at. He has crowned himself, like the red nosed savior or whatever, you know.
Okay.
And anybody with something decent, he gonna hate on it. You let me tell you something, man. And I don't mean to babble. Let me tell you something. I remember this is some years ago. I posted a dog, bro, and like I said, I got a lot of respect, but I think it's because I get it. But anyway, the only thing he could ever say about my dogs was that one of them had a butterfly nose. And what it is, you know, the dog had a white pigment and might have like a half chocolate nose or some shit.
Sure.
That's the only thing he could find to say, right? And I didn't even respond back because I knew where it was coming from. I think I got too many friends in the game, and, you know, people like my shit. And, of course, he had to find something to pick apart. But the crazy part is, man, I am so not a hater. Bro, I sent people to his yard. He don't even know. You know, but if people have came to me, they want this pure red, that. I'll be honest with them. Like, look, man, I don't have what you're looking for, but I know a person that does. This dude named Kenny Sonia, he got probably the best built red noses that I've seen with my eyes and in pictures. Go to him. And that's on God. I've done that several times. I'm just not going to go out there and give my money.
Right.
But that's where his
that's
ego
the
come
thing
from,
too.
man. You know, he at one time, the red dog was all about Camelot. And now it has surpassed him, and he wants his crown back. But he can't get it. I mean, really, that's about what it is, man. But when you told me how he got at you, I knew for a fact you was telling the truth, because I mean, I've been doing this shit so long, bro. I probably know him better than he know him.
Well, my thing was this. All I did was a video on my findings. I did one for Razor's Edge. Like at the beginning of my channel, right? And I'll go back, especially for the listeners, because a lot of these guys will remember this and it'll give them some nostalgia. But I did this thing as an experiment. I didn't think it was going to take off. I did one video explaining to people everything they call a pit bull.
Yeah.
I broke down the American Pit Bull Terrier and its game form. I broke down the American Staffordshire Terrier, the Staffordshire Bull Terrier, and the American Bully.
Right.
That's what I broke down. It was just an experiment. And it blew the fuck up. And I was like, well, damn, maybe my wife is right. Maybe I should get paid to talk about dogs.
Yeah.
Then I did Razor's Edge, Gotti line, and Remy line in that order.
Right.
Because I knew they were popular.
Right.
Then I start going back and, doing all the my first interview was actually Tilo from Ruckus Kennels.
Yeah.
Because he had some things to talk about as far as my Remy line video.
Yeah.
He didn't hate me. He didn't attack me. He was just like, bro, let me jump on with you because part of what you're saying about the Remy line video, the Remy line bloodline, is not true. Let me give you my story on it. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And then I ended up doing an interview with Fabian, who owned Remy, right after that. Well, a couple months after that. It was just like, I'm not trying to hold anybody back.
Yeah.
Everybody has the chance to speak their piece. So why did you become, when I'm talking about Kenny now, why did you become so standoffish? You were at my throat in those text messages. Like I fully just disrespected the shit out of you. And if you look back at the video, the Watchdog Chaos Camelot, I didn't say anything except for what the internet said.
Right.
I was just showing photos and this is what it looks like. And I said apparently there's 2 Camelot lines, one by Art, one by Kenny.
Right.
Because it's probably, if I would imagine, probably similar to the Johnson Scott thing as far as the American Bulldog. They had 2 different visions. They were working together for a little bit, right? But then they had 2 different visions. So what the fuck is wrong with that? What did I say to disrespect you, first of all? And number 2, you curse me out and then you don't respond after the fact. You look like a punk.
Yeah.
If you're trying to defend your line so much, all I wanted, I don't even know the guy. And let me say for the record, I don't know the guy. I don't have nothing against the guy. Why did you respond that way if you're listening? Why did you respond that way and just cut everything off? And his last message was, no, you wanted an interview. I didn't say I was going to do it. But at first when I talked to him, he acted all positive. He didn't say he was going to do it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he said, positive things. Oh, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Here's my number. And I text him. And then when I text him, he fires back with just like complete, like, I don't like you as a person kind of thing because you did this and you did that. I was like, all I did was relay the information I found. If you want to come clear that up, jump on. And then I'll let, whoever, disputes it, they have the right to jump on too.
Yeah.
Every dog man has a seat at the table at Battlebred Canines. End of story. I want to know the truth because in 20 years, a lot of these guys, they don't want to sit here and read books. They don't want to sit here and read articles.
Right.
They're going to be listening to podcasts, and that's why I'm doing this whole thing.
Well, bro, I promise you, once this gets out, and I'm gonna make sure because what I'm gonna do once you tell me that it's out, I'm gonna go on a United Red Nose World what every red dog breeder on this planet is a member of. They might not comment, but I promise you, when I go on that forum and I tell them that this is done, he gonna see it. I can put that on my mama.
Okay.
And he'll come and listen, and hopefully, I'm actually dying to see what he got to say. Because like I say, he got some, like he has the best red dogs to me.
You vouch for him already as being a great breeder.
Yeah, but that personality, man, he need to do something with that. People have called him bipolar. People have called him crazy. All kind of stuff. I don't think he's crazy. To me, a crazy person, they take a shit and don't wipe their ass, or they run in front of cars. That's crazy to me. But what he doing is just senseless. So if he hear it, he'll get in contact with you and he'll rebuttal.
I hope so. It was never nothing hateful or anything distasteful. It was always, well, I just want to know your story. Tell me your story. I don't care about who says what. Tell me what did you do?
Right, exactly.
That's it. I'm not here to, hey, I'm not nailing nobody to no cross. Just tell me your story. The Camelot blood is very popular in certain circles. All I wanted was the story.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to hurt no feelings, and that's what it comes to. Now,
yeah, well, I think it'll come up, man. And I'm saying what's so crazy? That Camelot blood is actually, as far as red nose blood, it's still number one. I mean, it came out with the it was Camelot, it was Peterson, which is a breakoff of Camelot. Then you got some Danger Zone blood. But in a nutshell, as far as red dogs, right now Camelot is still probably the most popular. It's just people aren't getting them from him. Now, of course, he's still selling dogs, but everybody and their mama got a Camelot dog.
Right.
And, that's in the red dogs. But when he hurts himself, he's so standoffish, man. So if he wasn't so standoffish and if he wasn't so arrogant, he can get his fan base back. But it take me and maybe you to say what we're saying to make him realize, yeah, you want to wear the crown, but stop treating people like shit. And Towchain, Jake Johnson said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I'm not gonna be talked to a certain kind of way. I mean, you might be a tough guy. I mean, come on, man, stop it. It's 2023.
Right.
We could use our words.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's that's what it comes down to. But my thing is, I know you have the red blood on your yard. Now tell me.
Well, I missed that last comment. I had a red blood and what?
No, I said, I know you got red blood on your yard, but tell me, were you trying to breed away from the Chevy stuff? And why?
Yeah, definitely, man. I bred away from the Chevy stuff because the strain that I started with. Okay, that strain is a heavy strain, right?
Sure.
And with that weight came bad hips. I had two people. One was my homeboy Jesse. He had a male that he got from me. That dog became lame in the hips. Another person was my son, my own son. He had one of the dogs I bred with that heavy Chevy blood. His dog became lame. I mean early. So I already knew them bad hips. I wasn't here when Chevy was created, but the rumor is master. Like I said, I wasn't there, but I started seeing things, man, that I didn't want to be a part of, and I never really was a fan of size. So yeah, I got away from it and bred the dogs that I had, bred them to be smaller, and that's another reason I wanted to go back to that bruiser strain of Camelot, because I want to clean that stuff out, man. I want to put a better product out, but I also want to say, and this is important for people that follow Towchain, I didn't get into red dogs, man, because of their lineage. That was not the reason. I want to make that clear. I didn't get into red dogs because of the Serrano blood. I didn't want to duplicate the blood. and this gonna come across kind of bad to some people, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. Man, I bred red dogs because I like the way they look. I like the amber eyes. I like the dark red toenails. I like the color red. I like the red nose. To me, there's no prettier dog on this earth than a dark red nose with light amber eyes. Man, that's a pretty damn dog.
100%.
But that's the truth. And a lot of people don't know that. You know, they think I went red because of the lineage. I wanted to build pairs and I wanted all this pure cam shit. Nah, bro. That was not the reason. It was 100% for looks. A lot of people don't like that, but I'm not going to lie. That's why I did it.
You know, it's funny you say that. A lot of the band dog guys, you know, performance. And I'm all for that. But I'm spoiled. I want performance and I want to look. You know, what my Borbal, he looks more like Bulldog phenotype. He was very special. I wanted a specific look, and I envisioned it 10 years ago. The look I wanted, and me personally, I like a black dog. I like a fawn. A fawn or red dog with a black nose, black eyeliner. You know.
Oh boy, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you.
And I also coming from the Borbals, I like the black and tan look too. That's sexy.
Bro, let me tell you something, man. It's crazy you say that. Is that the sable you talking about?
No, the black and tan. It's almost like Rottweiler markings on a Borbal.
Yo, okay, I just seen my first black and tan Borbal, man, maybe 2 weeks ago. I saw it online. I didn't even know they came in that color. But I thought you meant that sable color.
I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I just saw my first one, man, 2 or 3 weeks ago on Instagram, bro. And I was like, damn, that's hot. You know, that's a nice look for a Borbal.
Yeah, 100%. But I like something that can blend in, you know. I'm a survivalist. If I ever have to, you know, live off the land or whatever, I want something that can blend in. What are you feeding your dogs these days?
Man, I actually started with Bill Jack, right? I started with Bill Jack, but I stopped using Bill Jack because the stool stink, man. It did all right with the dogs. So I used Bill Jack, man, for like the first 15 years. I'm one of them kind of people, when I find something that works, I stick to it. But I came off Bill Jack, and I started using the teal bag of Victor. The reason I prefer the teal bag is because I can't think of, I think it's High Pro, but anyway, the teal bag, if you read it well, the ingredients are good, but you can raise puppies off of that. So it's like, let me tell you something people don't know. It's like a lot of people wonder why they puppies had the shits and whatnot, right? It's because you're not feeding the dog what the mom ate while she was pregnant. Okay? So it's like if you feed the mom teal bag, right? Let's use it for example. When it comes time to wean the puppies, you can also wean the puppies on the same dog food. You ain't got to worry about you know, the bad joints, the low hocks and all this that come from all that protein. If you use that same dog food, man, you can raise those puppies off of that, and they'll hold it fat, you know, the fat that they need, you know, muscle, good clear eyes, you know, nice tight pink gums. That's what that teal bag gives me, and I don't like a fat dog, so I can make me, like, my dogs are genetically muscular, right? But with that dog food, man, I got it so dialed in to where I can have the muscle showing and there's no bones showing. And that food does that for me. So that's why I stick to it.
Okay. Right.
No raw. Even though, you know, I'm not against raw. But man, see, the thing about me, bro, it's so hard for me to talk around shit. So I just gotta be to the point.
Of course.
With the raw diet, honestly, I don't believe in it. I've used it before. I used it on my bitch Hail Mary, and I just wanted to tone her, make her real tight. So I went to, I read up on some shit, you know, with the venison and all this and that, and it worked. It got her real tight. But as I said, at the same time, and it's cheaper actually. but at the same time, her mom proof, right? I wanted condition proof, so I used a Victor. I got the results quicker with the dry dog food, bro. I used that shit. I put on the 30-day keep. She came out just as tight. I even kept a thicker rear end on her, because I was able to feed her, you know, with the dry, because you know with the kibble you got a little more fat in there, you know, less than raw. So but it worked to me even better with on the kibble. So I don't use no raw at all. To me, I just think people may read a little too much into the diet, but man, I've been doing the same shit for 20-some years, bro, and I've been getting the same results. So, you know, I'm not gonna get commercialized. And no, I don't mean to. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call it commercialized. You know, people can do what they want to, but for me, I can get the same out of kibble as I can with raw. So I just keep it like that.
Sure. Actually, Carl Burton from Dragon Dog Kennels, he's got working pit bulldogs. One of my favorite kennels, actually. And he's like, no, I give them just kibble. And he's like, I don't supplement it. I don't do anything extra. And another reason he said that was because he's like, I want to see their low bar. I want to build up that low bar.
What is that?
Well, low bar meaning like, if I'm just feeding them kibble, how high could this dog perform?
Oh, I feel you.
You see what I mean? He's like, if I start supplementing them and all this shit, then I'm not going to see where they're at if they're just being fed dog food.
Right.
You know, he's like, I want to raise that. I want to raise that low bar.
Yeah.
If you get them into a home and all they're feeding them is Alpo or pedigree or something like that, are they still going to be same quality of dog?
Yeah. Is that guy that owns that dog named Nightshade?
That's him. Yep. 100%.
Yeah, that dog just died too, though, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah, Nightshade died, man.
Oh,
I saw
man.
a post on him.
Oh, man. Rest in peace, Nightshade. That was a phenomenal animal.
Yeah, man. And that guy, man, that guy is kind of low on the radar, but I love what he does, man. So shout out to him, man. But yeah, his dog.
Yeah, Carl
Nightshade,
Burton, man. He's
RIP now.
Carl Burton is a good friend of mine. Dragon Dog Kennels, big shout out. I didn't know Nightshade passed, but man, he told me that Nightshade was getting, you know, to his last leg, and there was going to be another dominant dog on his yard. He did mention that our last conversation, and very sad to say because that dog was, I mean, what? That dog was pretty much perfect. I never met him in person, but from what I've seen, that dog was very close to perfect as far as a working pit bulldog, a bully pit, whatever you want to call it.
But wasn't he beautiful, man?
Oh,
beautiful
man.
Dog, man. Yeah, that's one of the ones that made me want to graduate to that black color too, man. I saw him.
Yeah.
Like, nice. Yeah.
And black can produce anything.
Yeah, true.
That's another thing too. Like my whole litter from this first band dog breeding was the whole litter's black.
Oh, okay.
So I was just like, yeah, holy shit, man. But
okay, so this is what I wanted to say about rehoming dogs, keepers, and all this and that, and why I think some people fail. Man, I'm gonna tell you, I think the biggest mistake breeders make. Okay. Number one, man, you can't keep everything, but it's like people. I feel like breeders make the mistake, man, of keeping shit they know they can't use. Man, you don't need 40 damn dogs to make a kennel.
Right.
You don't need that.
100%.
Okay. Right. And I think another thing that these new breeders do. They're trying to count too much money, man. You know, they want a return on every puppy. Man, you will lose sleep. You'll lose fucking weight trying to count money from dogs, man. You know, sometimes it's okay, you know, to have a pup and you sell it for maybe half, you know, of what you counted. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, I see so many people, man. They come in the game and they get all these damn dogs, right? You know, you got 10 dogs out there. 4 of them may be breeding quality, but because you bought them, you want to use them. All you doing is making your blood look bad. You're gonna make your productions look like shit. You know, if you don't want to use it because it's looking a certain way and you pay all this money for it, what the hell you think you're gonna produce? You're gonna produce a bunch of shit that you done sold and your name is raggedy because you got dogs out there. You say you breed dogs of confirmation, but you bought this dog for $5,000. Dog got a sway back, you know, probably cowhocked and shit, and you producing that. So now, next thing you know, nobody wants your stuff.
I'm glad you said that. I'm 100% glad you said that.
Yeah. So man, just take the loss, man. You know, take the dog, give it to a family member. You know, don't kill it if you can help it. You know, don't take it to a shelter. Somebody always want a dog, man. You got a family member. You might have an elderly family member that might have they want a dog that they can handle. Take that dog you paid all that money for. Just get them off your yard and start over, man.
Yeah.
You know, if you got puppies, don't try to maximize your price. If you sell the puppies for $3,000, but you know you got one with a screw tail or a cliff palate, either put it down or take the damn loss and save your name.
Right.
You know, that's what I don't know, man. I guess people, you know, they buy a dog for $5,000, so they want to turn around and charge $5,000 for every puppy. Bruh, don't even try it. You know, get established first. You know, put out what you're known for. Stay in your lane. If your lane is a band dog that looks like this and looks like that, breed what's in your lane. Produce what's in your lane. Okay? And you'll be fine. You don't need 40 goddamn dogs, man, to make a kennel.
100%.
And an 85-pound dog, man, can be agile. And you know the most important thing, an 85-pound dog can stop any man.
Oh,
any
yeah.
man.
And they sleep on that too.
Yeah, man. You know, I see people. That's another thing with the pit bulls too, man. Is why I wanted to bully your dog. I did want a man stopper if it had to come to that. But man, a 35-pound dog can get his back broke.
Right.
It might hold on for a little while. But bro, I seen a video long time ago. This guy let this dog on this dude. This chocolate pit. I'll never forget it, man. Dog probably was about 60 pounds. Tenacious dog. The dog latched onto his arm, right? I tell you, he took that dog and, bro, he ragdolled him on some concrete. Broke that dog's spine. That dog died right there. Even though it was game, it was just too damn small.
Exactly.
But you take that same guy, let some about 85 pounds get on his ass, he may ragdoll his ass once or twice. But after that, his ass gonna be tired and that dog gonna work him. But bro, let me tell you something else on that same note as far as what you're building. Man, don't you know it's a market for everything?
Mm-hmm.
All you gotta do is find the market, bro.
That's it.
Or let the market find you. You do it long enough, and if what you doing is doing what you intended for it to do, I swear to you, you can take a poodle to a Rottweiler. There is a market for it. You just have to find the market or let the market find you and just breed what you're breeding and stick to it. I swear to you, it's going to find you. I'm man, case in point is me. When I told people I was going to breed bullies to pit bulls, bro, boy, I heard it all. I ain't give a damn though. And all it took me about a good 3 years, and it caught on.
Yeah, but because you're doing something that's valuable.